You're playing a Disney princess in this instance. Are they quite appropriate role models now? Because I mean, do you think they've improved over the years? Because I mean, obviously, like the traditional, more sort of like archetypal Disney princess seems a bit old-fashioned now.
Exactly.
But how do you think they sort of fare in a modern cinematic setting?
I think what's beautiful about, I mean, I can only speak for Aurora, I guess, is kind of how she has grown. I mean, obviously in the first film, what the twist was, in a way, was that it was a mother's love that woke Princess Aurora, and we got to kind of twist the fairy tale on its head. I mean, it wasn't, the prince's kiss. And in the second film, what's so beautiful is this film's about everyone accepting their true nature and not changing for anyone and loving each other for their differences. And in this film, we have 3 central female characters that use their power in very different ways. And Aurora stays true to herself, which is finding her strength and her softness and strength and her femininity. And she's honestly the wisest of the 3 in the way that she feels like everyone can truly live harmoniously together, and her acceptance. And I think it's beautiful to see that on screen, a woman that's not afraid to be soft. Because what does a strong woman mean? What does that look like? And there's these stereotypes. And I think for us, we were excited we got to show 3 very different women, show them in that way, in a very real way. And so for me, I'm very proud of the woman that Aurora has grown up to be, which it was very important,
When you say what does a strong woman look like, I think horns help.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she can do a lot. And magic, I guess. She can kind of do anything.
The film has got a kind of light touch to it, but it is sort of looking into the world of villains. And they seem to be so appealing these days. I mean, obviously the Joker movie's out at the moment, and then last year we had Venom. What do you think it is about modern society that it's attracting us to the kind of the darker forces as opposed to the sort of typical sort of heroes of cinema?
Well, I think it gives us opportunities to sort of understand the psychology of someone like that, and sort of unpack what it means to be bad, and then I think in turn it means that society doesn't just label people as good and bad, and I think it sort of not forces us, but suggests us that people are way more complex than that, and people have, multifaceted personalities that sort of, in turn, make for interesting character studies as well,
I think it's interesting to explore villains and explore origin stories. I think that can sometimes offer up quite a bit. Yeah.
I think our politicians in real life are perhaps more villainous, in their the way they conduct themselves, and maybe cinema's just exploring these new villains that seem to be popping up everywhere.
I think it's something that probably goes in cycles, like all things, because Taxi Driver's 30-odd years old, and I think the idea of the anti-hero is an older idea, but less so in family entertainment, probably. But I think we're living in quite, disturbing times, aren't we? And I think people feel an affinity with these characters that are sort of misunderstood, maybe, and sort of living in the verges of society.
They make for very interesting characters, and in some sense, they are kind of a little bit wish-fulfilling in the sense that they do things that we would like to do sometimes. I'm only speaking for the character Maleficent. I think that, she is wicked, and she can say what she wants to say, and she can do what she wants to do, and she can fly around, and I think that is something that we would all like to do every now and then. But at the same time, she's, she has a big heart, and she loves Aurora, and that's what makes her relatable. So I think that it makes for a very interesting character to have that duality in them. And the same goes with Michelle Pfeiffer's Queen Ingrid in this movie. I think, she's also a mother, and at the same time, of course, has a hidden agenda to rule the world. So it just makes them more interesting, I feel.